The birth of the market represented a significant chapter in the history of the food trade. The fairs were born from the aggregation of itinerant vendors who, at pre-established deadlines of the civil or religious calendar, gathered to offer their products. In ancient Rome, the market was a real mirror of the economic power of the city. The macellum was a particular market of the Roman cities, in which the goods destined for sale were conveyed. It was a market specialized in the retail sale of meat and fish. This often housed a basin of fish hatchery in the center of its internal courtyard. Furthermore, at the macellum, it was also possible to find pre-packaged foods and exotic vegetables, or in any case, not easy to find vegetables. Starting from the last phase of the High Middle Ages, agricultural societies and small urban centers gradually developed markets for exchange of goods produced precisely for resale. Metallic money, and much later bank money, established itself as a conventional means, i.e. the recognized universal equivalent, for the purchase and sale of the various goods present on the market. The use of money is spreading because it significantly reduces transaction costs. By convention, the early Middle Ages can be dated from the fall of the Western Roman Empire, which took place in 476 to about the year 1000. In medieval and Renaissance Europe, coins were only metallic, in gold or silver, typically in gold or silver alloy. The intrinsic value of the coin was given by its weight, of the proportion of the precious metal in the alloy used, calculated in carats for gold and in thousandths for silver, while the extrinsic value consisted of the normal value attributed to it by the authority, kings, princes, city governments of the territory where it was accepted as a medium of exchange. From the interaction between the economic activity carried out in the feudal courts and that of the contiguous, relatively autonomous villages, a market economy began to form, which was based on the buying and selling of goods against the payment of an agreed monetary price. The geographical and commodity expansion of commercial exchanges has precisely as a presupposition the diffusion of the use of money. In other words, goods are exchanged for money not only because this is accepted by the parties to do the transaction, but above all, because it's recognized by the mercantile community, even if it is introduced by the political authority. In the 13th century, it was the development of the markets of the periodic fairs to determine new organized methods of production and intermediation. This was possible through a system of specialization and division of labor between the countryside and the city, and above all, in urban centers of production wholesale trade. Consequently, new payment methods, not only based on the mere delivery of one's own physical coins or those lent by other individuals, but also on the credit reputation of third parties considered solvent. They were notoriously in possession of great financial wealth, who signed exchange letters or credit letters. These were real forms of recognition of a monetary debt, also called scriptural currency, without necessarily having to carry or possess cash. Between the 12th and the 14th centuries, the expansion of the commercial space was due to the maritime connections between Northern Europe and the Mediterranean basin. Later, however, in the period from 1450 to 1650, the so-called long 16th century, the European economy organized itself on a global scale, with a robust traffic of goods of various kinds from the Far East to Europe and vice versa. In the cities of the Renaissance and until the beginning of the 19th century, the market played a significant role in the emergence of local food customs. From the second half of the 16th century and throughout the 17th century, market scenes appeared frequently in pictorial works from Italy to Flanders. They celebrated the abundance derived from the growing reliance on commerce, the primary source of wealth for the new emerging classes. In the 18th century, this kind of subjects identified the new Enlightenment sense of economic security, which translated into the sensation of having defeated hunger forever. Then, in the last decades of the 19th century, the innovation of the covered market formula arrived widely, which was artistically highlighted with the presence of commercial signs, placed on the outside of the buildings to catch the attention of the buyers. The supermarket was born in the 20th century. The first non-lasting experiences date back to 1916, where Clarence Saunders opened Piggly Wiggly's store in Memphis, experimenting for the first time with this turnstile with an access control system in a public place. The first lasting experiences were born downstream of the Great Depression of 1929, starting from the first King Cullen store in Cincinnati. Lastly, as far as the hypermarket is concerned, the most emblematic case is that of the French group Leclerc, which has always attempted to introduce new merchandise into its sales outlets, often forcing downwards the existence of fixed prices: tobacco, books, petrol, perfumes, etc. Today is the era of large-scale distribution. Huge spaces where you can find everything and where people also tend to buy unnecessary things. But that's another story.